banning the Hyena and the Sleipnir, and Northern Coalition banning the Astarte and the Brutix Navy issue.
Still leaves 2 Navy ships?
Yeah, they've gone after those Brutix hulls, though, those Galente
The rails on them are
core.
very strong, yeah.
Prediction? Lebowski?
I don't know. I think I might have to side with Ryan here on the fact that Northern Coalition are probably looking strong for this, but we from Volta, Thera boys. I've got to rep those guys. I love the wormholers, even though people don't necessarily count them in the same, but I do. They're wormholers.
An incredible match. We will go to the boys in the booth moderator and Zarvox Tural here for match 124A of Alliance Tournament 14 Northern Coalition versus We Form Volta.
I'm moderator, my flow is heavy, my palms are sweaty, and the teams are ready. So Volta has brought 2 Typhoon Fleet issues, an Eos, an Oneros, 2 Swiples, 2 Blackbirds, a Malice AT10 Alliance Tournament ship, or AT9 rather, a Vigil, and what do NC Dot have, Starbucks?
A bit of a mirror setup as you had stated. We see double Floon, Eos and Neuros, double Svipul, Blackbird, Vengeance and Vigil, and the only difference between these 2 lineups is that We Form Volta have decided to go for a Malice over the Vengeance. Tell us a little bit about the Malice.
So the Malice is a ship that has a bonus to nooning strength and optimal range as well as fall-off. They're going to want to get that ship on top of the Oneros as soon as they can, or the Lynx to completely shut them off, neutralize anything that they've got. Ooh. Already, the Svipul of Travis Muskrat is rushing in on top of Volta, and he's going to be hard tackled. He's taking immediate damage.
Travis.
He's getting already pummeled into low armor. This Oneros is jammed, and he's going to drop.
And he is down.
So critically, Volta has won the initial jam war. They've got the Oneros jammed. They've lost the Svipul. This is going to put the
second Svipul
Volta in a strong position.
That second Svipul of Squishinator has been immediately double-webbed and scrammed. Lost Scram, he may be able to pull out of range, but he is taking enormous amounts of damage. He has caught reps, so the jams are now unsuccessful on the Aneros.
So what Volta have critically done is you can see that there are jams and that the Typhoons have been screened. The Fleet Typhoons for Volta have not been screened. So Northern Coalition, they're pinned down. They can't get their newts to bear on top of the Oneros. But the Oneros for Volta is tackled. He's going to be taking good damage at range. But the Svipul for NC Dot is taking a lot of damage.
To try
that
and
Oneros is for NC Dot is neuted out, so eventually he's going to drop reps onto the Svipul, and the Svipul will go down right now.
They also have hard tackle onto that Malice. He's scrammed and webbed and now taking quite a lot of damage. Will they keep fire on the Aneros, or will they switch over to the Malice to try and get rid of that?
I don't like the Malice as a primary call. The Malice is one of the most tanky AT ships that you can possibly have. Very low signature and amazing resist. Volta are just snowballing this from their initial position. I like either a call onto the Oneros. It looks like they've got Scram Web on top of him. He's going to likely be in their next primary.
So many jams onto the side of NC. So as you can see, the incoming damage is just not the same. There are jams all over NC's field, NC's comp of both Floons, the Aneros, the Blackbird, and the Vengeance. So these 2 Blackbirds of NC are, as you can see, unable to do too much work themselves.
Yeah, so what you can do to the Oneros, you can shut off its hardeners. You can see he's not propping, just completely shut down and locked out of the match. Eventually, they can either primary him and kill him with those hardeners off, or they can kill any other ship since he won't be able to repair. But they're still trying to put all their damage on top of Volta. Volta's Oneros is holding. You can see the repair icon on top of him. That's an update from last weekend. Now repair drones will give a repair icon on screen, so that's what you're seeing here.
So still just no losses from Volta, holding up just fine. They are taking a lot of damage on their own Aneros, but he seems to be tanking just fine.
Yeah,
it's
so
just
the Malice
broken out of
Mystical
Scram
Might.
and Web critically, so he may be able to, yeah, he's immediately
so we can see
started
the Malice and
popping away.
Mystical Might, as well as the Fleet Typhoon, are getting on top of this Oneros. He's smart bombing all the repair drones off of him. Once all the repair drones are off, he's going to pop shortly. And yeah, Typhoon's overshot a bit, but those repair drones are going to fall shortly. He's got enough damage on top of him. This Svipul, he might break, but trading an Oneros for a Svipul when you're already down 2 Svipuls isn't enough. The Oneros has now caught reps on top of that Svipul, and Control Freak is going to stay alive.
Really?
Volta is just going to continue snowballing this match, kill the Blackbirds, kill the Vengeances, and with that, I think they're just in a commanding position. I don't see how NC Dot takes this back.
That's right. The loss of their logistics, 2 of their Svipuls critical to apply damage. You could see how quickly the reps were dropped onto Control Freak immediately after hitting 50% armor after a volley or 2. Reps are already there. That's with Armor reps obviously activating at the end of their cycle, so on point with the Aneros pilot of Starfleet Commander.
And critically, both the Typhoon fleet issues are heavily screened. Nothing is going to be able to break them away. The Blackbirds of Volta, are completely at range. They're able to jam everything just fine, just stay at range. Once these Blackbirds for NC Dot fall, they can snowball all their jams on top of the Vengeance, the Vigil, and the remaining Blackbird. NC Dot is completely locked out and shut down. You can see that Volta is ignoring the EOC. EOS only really having a bonus to damage drones and having the links. Damage drones in this format not doing too much, as you can only bring the Tech 1 variety. Blackbird slowly but surely breaking. Really a good, impressive performance out of Volta. What do you think, Champion Starvox?
And that Aneros, that Aneros of Starfleet Commander was about to go down. He was hard tackled. He was able to just break scram and immediately prop mode away. So he's now in no danger at all, whereas the Aneros of the other side was unable to do the same.
Yeah, really good presence of mind by Starfleet Commander. As soon as he saw the scram come off, he just tapped that button and ran out of the way of the scram. So
not easy to do with comms going crazy and trying to pay attention to broadcasts for reps. Really good situational awareness and keeping his team's logistics alive. Really very little chance, I think, of NC getting any more kills. They're just getting mopped up, as you can see.
Hard tackle now on top of that Blackbird of Colonel, and he's going to be the next primary, should fall fairly shortly.
There we go, the Vigil down. So it looks like it's going to be potentially a flawless victory from Volta here against NC. Were you expecting this, Moderator?
Absolutely not. NC Dot has been performing rather well throughout the tournament. Their only loss, really, to date has been against Pandemic Legion, a very close match, closer than it should have been, admittedly. But Volta kind of stumbled against Pandemic Legion, going out 0-2 against them. But right now, they're showing much better poise. Their mechanics are very on point. They're getting the initial screen, so they're getting tackle on top of the Northern Coalition ships rather quickly. So how this comp plays out, and it was very popular last year, is that you get on top of the Oneros, you primary it, you paint it, and once the cruise missiles can do full damage on top of that Oneros, or even rapid heavies, they'll do their full damage, while that Oneros of Starfleet Commander was free to burn away the entire time. And once you do that, you can see just the difference in the survivability of the two teams.
How big of a deal is those early jams? Like we could see that the jams from Volta were all across the side of NC, whereas there were very few jams coming in from NC. So obviously implying that Volta won the initial jam war, fairly critical, removing a huge amount of DPS from the side of Northern Coalition.
Yeah, Northern Coalition now choosing to boundary violate some of their ships, possibly not wanting to have some of their fittings show up on a kill board actively. So I think a good decision by them to actually boundary violate that. The EOS now being the last ship, and he's completely everything, not moving, and they've just decided to give themselves some time to prepare for the next setup, and
not much they can do. Volta mopping up the opposition with what seems to be it is a flawless victory, in fact. A lot of the other matches today have been really close, but this is just a flat-out stomping from Volta over NC.
Yeah, and it was initially closer than you thought it was. Had Starfleet Commander actually gone down, this could have been a different story.
Absolutely.
He was able to stay alive.
Absolutely.
And Starfleet was able to then bring it back for Volta. So well played by him, well played by the Volta side. Unfortunately, NC Dot's going to have to claw this back, and we'll send it back to the boys on the desk to break that one down for you.
Dariが再びクルソリンゴ戦火を持っています。私は芸の人々を嫌いではありません。
Chat was steady, the atmosphere was heady, and NC Dot is down one match already. Moderator and Zarvox providing some amazing commentary on a very nearly mirror match where Volta just managed to take the first blood, get those successful jams that they needed, and proceeded to steamroll NC Dot. Just a brutal disassembly, a vivisection of that team. Lebowski, tell us about your impressions.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, the initial jam war, Volta seemed to win that quite successfully, and then once they start taking down ships from the side, all the the effect of those jams just gets compounded as there's less ships for them to prioritize with those jams. And then from then on, it seemed to be just kind of business as usual, just mopping up. I'm super excited. That's 2 for 2 now. I have a perfect record on predicting matches in this tournament.
Let us knock him down as many pegs as we can, Twitch. Gorion?
Well, I mean, you saw a couple of things here. I mean, you saw that they chose Blackbirds over Rooks because they get that points cost bonus. I mean, they do mostly the same job. And here they're able to cram in a Malice. I mean, that's something I've seen when back when I played and saw them last. You could have 2 of them, and you can't break them. They're literally a waste of time because of the time limit format. That if the amount of time it takes you to break those, because of their bonuses, you're better off shooting another ship. And NC made the situation worse when they were put into a deep hole and then tried to go for that. You're not going to crack it. It's one of the toughest nuts you can possibly shoot at, and might have done something else with that, but I mean, it's a sickeningly good, solid frigate.
Now, that was the one variation between the 2 comps that we saw. NC bringing the Vengeance, which is the same shape,
Same hull,
same hull, more or less, but totally different bonuses. Just completely outclassed by the Malice, which lives up to its status as an AT ship. That's why those ships are powerful. But I really don't think that it was the Malice that turned it. Maybe the target calling on the Malice is a bad move, but it's got to be just the success of those Blackbirds, the success of those jams coming through from Volta, and then the early Sweeple down.
Yes, jamming their Logi right off the bat, let them kill the incoming tackle, which is what they're trying to basically trade. Because they got that successful jam, they could not get reps on that Sweeple, and we saw it just evaporate just like that.
And you could clearly see that he was relying on, he was hoping
he was counting on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bro, I'm going to jump off here. You're going to catch me, right? Trust fall failure.
Well, we're going to see the numbers here on the post-match synopsis of just how successful the Logis or unsuccessful the Logis were. I mean, 132 damage coming from Volta straight into that Northern Coalition fleet, just mopping up everywhere that they could. Northern Coalition unable to deliver 51,000 damage coming out of them. Inadequate answer. And no ships lost from Volta.
No,
that's got to feel good. That's got to feel good in your first match going.
Yeah, definitely in this stage, getting a total hell def like this, that's a feather in your cap, especially against NC. That's not a nobody.
No,
that's definitely one of the contending team. So to be able to come in that first match of 3 and to completely mop the floor with them, especially while showing off some flashy stuff there with the Malice. Definitely a good showing.
We talked about, or at least the commentators talked about, NC boundary violating some of their ships rather than have them be destroyed in order to avoid that kill mail recon that can be done. Their last ship, their EOS, they leave on the field. And I bring up the EOS specifically because in this comp, that's providing the links to all the rest of the ships on fleet. And as we're lucky enough to have Lebowski with us, Lebowski is one of the developers working on Team 5.0, responsible for a lot of the sandbox gameplay that goes into most people's EVE experiences, and certainly has an impact on what we see here at the AT. Tell me about links, Lebowski.
So links are a system that most people will know if they're watching the AT, which bonus other ships in your fleet. And we're changing these to a system called Command Bursts very soon in the November release in Ascension. And the difference there, at least the primary difference I can see that will affect the AT, is that they will now be area effect bonuses. So they're a module that cycles, and every time the module cycles, it'll hit every person in their fleet within a certain amount of distance, and that distance is smaller than the AT tournament grid. So
what's the range on the?
It depends slightly on skills, I believe. The last time I saw it was around about 50k is the range on those. So it means that hopefully we're going to see some more interesting plays with those in the future.
Now, are we seeing those modules? Are they available to pilots who are maybe on one of the test servers like Singularity?
That's right. Yeah. So we gave these modules out to everyone on Singularity. So if you haven't been on the server since we did that, you can log in and look in your redeem queue, and they'll all be there for you to play with. And we're also going to be seeding them for general use in the Singularity markets very soon as well. Hopefully early next week.
Grind, do you spend any time on Singularity yourself?
When I have time, when I'm not going out for roaming, mostly me. What little time I did have recently, I spent mostly with Thunderdome, trying to help as much as I can. Work at the time was being pretty aggressively making it impossible for me to help. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm here. Is one thing I could do for my corp stimulus in Rote Capel. I could actually come here and represent, but otherwise I haven't had a lot of interest. But Singularity now is great, especially with the new launcher. I mean, it makes it really easy to get there and help. I mean, testing is very important, and if anyone has any time to go out there, please do test them and submit bug reports, and it just makes the game better for everyone.